Welcome to New Testament in a Year. Day 346. Revelation 2. To the angel, divine messenger of the church in Ephesus, write, These are the words of the one who holds firmly the 7 stars, which are the angels or messengers of the 7 churches in his right hand, the one who walks among the 7 golden lampstands, the 7 churches. I know your deeds and your toil and your patient endurance, and that you cannot tolerate those who are evil, and have tested and critically appraised those who call themselves apostles, special messengers, personally chosen representatives of Christ, and in fact are not, and have found them to be liars and impostors. And I know that you who believe are enduring patiently and are bearing up for my name's sake, and that you have not grown weary of being faithful to the truth. But I have this charge against you, that you have left your first love. You have lost the depth of love that you first had for me. So remember the heights from which you have fallen, and repent. Change your inner self, your old way of thinking, your sinful behavior. Seek God's will, and do the works you did at first, when you first knew me. Otherwise, I will visit you and remove your lampstand, the church, its impact, from its place, unless you repent. Yet you have this to your credit, that you hate the works and corrupt teachings of the Nicolaitans that mislead and delude the people, which I also hate. He who has an ear, let him hear and heed what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes the world through believing that Jesus is the Son of God, I will grant the privilege to eat the fruit from the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. And to the angel, divine messenger of the church in Smyrna, write, These are the words of the first and the last, absolute deity, the Son of God, who died and came to life again. I know your suffering and your poverty, but you are rich, and how you are blasphemed and slandered by those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. They are Jews only by blood, and do not believe and truly honor the God whom they claim to worship. Fear nothing that you are about to suffer. Be aware that the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested in your faith, and for 10 days you will have tribulation. Be faithful to the point of death, if you must die for your faith, and I will give you the crown consisting of life. He who has an ear, let him hear and heed what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes the world through believing that Jesus is the Son of God will not be hurt by the second death, the lake of fire. And to the angel, divine messenger of the church in Pergamum, write, these are the words of him who has and wields the sharp two-edged sword in judgment. I know where you dwell, a place where Satan sits enthroned. Yet you are holding fast to my name, and you did not deny my faith, even in the days of Antipas, my witness, my faithful one, who was killed, martyred among you, where Satan dwells. But I have a few things against you, because you have there some among you who are holding to the corrupt teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the sons of Israel, enticing them to eat things that had been sacrificed to idols, and to commit acts of sexual immorality. You also have some who, in the same way, are holding to the teaching of the Nicolaitans. Therefore, repent, change your inner self, your old way of thinking, your sinful behavior, seek God's will, or else I am coming to you quickly, and I will make war and fight against them with the sword of my mouth in judgment. He who has an ear, let him hear and heed what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes the world through believing that Jesus is the Son of God, to him I will give the privilege of eating some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone with a new name engraved on the stone, which no one knows except the one who receives it. And to the angel, divine messenger of the church in Thyatira, write, these are the words of the Son of God, who has eyes that flash like a flame of fire in righteous judgment, and whose feet are like burnished white-hot bronze. I know your deeds, your love and faith, and service and patient endurance, and that your last deeds are more numerous and greater than the first. But I have this charge against you, that you tolerate the woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, claiming to be inspired, and she teaches and misleads my bond servants, so that they commit acts of sexual immorality and eat food sacrificed to idols. I gave her time to repent, to change her inner self and her sinful way of thinking. But she has no desire to repent of her immorality and refuses to do so. Listen carefully. I will throw her on a bed of sickness, and those who commit adultery with her I will bring into great anguish, unless they repent of her deeds. And I will kill her children, followers, with pestilence, thoroughly annihilating them. And all the churches will know without any doubt that I am He who searches the minds and hearts, the innermost thoughts, purposes, and I will give to each one of you a reward or punishment according to your deeds. But to the rest of you in Thyatira, who do not hold this teaching, who have not explored and known the depths of Satan, as they call them, I place no other burden on you except to hold tightly to what you have until I come. And he who overcomes the world through believing that Jesus is the Son of God, and he who keeps my deeds, doing things that please me until the very end, to him I will give authority and power over the nations, and he shall shepherd and rule them with a rod of iron, as the earthen pots are broken in pieces, as I also have received authority and power to rule them from my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He who has an ear, let him hear and heed what the Spirit says to the churches.